What's up, YouTube? It's Steve. It's been a while since I've been out here. It's been a while since I released a video, but today I'm here to show you my new smoker and to tell you a little bit about it. So stay tuned. So as you can see, I'm sitting here in front of a new smoker. I'm not sitting in front of my Kamado or my kettle. While I still have both of those, I also wanted to diversify a little bit and get into the pellet smoker game. So I ended up getting this here. This is the Grilla Silverbac All-Terrain Edition. And so this video really isn't much of a review. I didn't do an unboxing. There's a lot of other videos where people unboxed it and put it together. And there's a lot of reviews. I just wanted to share why I chose to get this particular smoker. So that's what this video is going to be about. So first and foremost, why did I get a pellet smoker? If you look at some of my other videos, anything that I made from probably about 2 years ago and back, everything that I made was either on a Kamado, a kettle, or an offset smoker that I had from years ago. And I was always one of those guys who was all about the charcoal and the wood smoke and everything and the flavor that comes from meat as a result of that. So why a pellet smoker? So the primary reason why I decided to get a pellet smoker is there's a lot of days that I want to grill or smoke meat during the week, and I don't feel like dealing with everything that goes into setting up, maintaining, and cleaning up behind a charcoal or wood-fired smoker. Some days I just want to come out here, plug this smoker up, cook some meat real quick, and be done within a couple of hours. And having this Silverbac has afforded me the opportunity to do that. So I've had it now for about 2 weeks. This is my fifth cook, I believe, on it. And most of my cooks, honestly, have been during the week. I've done a couple. I think my very first cook was on the weekend, but for the most part I've done cooks during the week, and today is Friday. I'm actually doing a cook now. So normally I can come out here. The last cook I did a couple days ago, I did some venison backstrap. I was able to roll this thing out, fire it up, throw the meat on there, and I was done in less than an hour. So I like that, and I'm talking about being done within an hour, having this thing cool back down, and then moving it back into the garage where I keep it. Other than that, I might go into some things, and if you see me looking down here, it's because I've got some notes here on my iPad. So I considered several pellet smokers before getting this one here, and that's really the gist of what this video is, why I didn't go with any of the others and why I did go with Grilla Grills. So there were, like I said, several other pellet smokers that I considered, the first being Camp Chef, and the reason why I did not go with them, well, there's several. First of all, they had the price of their smokers in comparison to this Silverbac all-terrain. They have better prices, however, they do not have double wall insulation. And if you know anything about smokers, maintaining fire, maintaining temperature is key in order to getting your food cooked. It can be the difference between getting stuff done on time and having to spend anywhere from minutes to hours cooking food because you lost a lot of heat. So this particular smoker has double wall insulation from here all the way around to the back, about that same height. And that helps with smoking in the wintertime. It helps maintain temperatures. Camp Chef smokers did not have that. The second reason why I did not go with Camp Chef is looking on their website, I saw there was a lot of sketchy reviews as far as Wi-Fi connectivity. If you know anything about the smoker in particular that I was considering was the Camp Chef Woodwind 24. and that's a Wi-Fi smoker. You're able to maintain temps and everything through an app on your mobile device via Wi-Fi. And even on their website, a lot of people, recent customers, complained of not being able to have accurate readings and not being able to connect the Wi-Fi. And you know, when you're spending this kind of money, you're talking about getting out here and cooking meat, I really don't have time to be dealing with, you know, the Wi-Fi connectivity. All my other devices work. I don't have time for that, you know, when it comes to dealing with a smoker. I need to be able to get this thing on and go. Another reason is I feel that it would be questionable if I'm able, as to whether or not I would be able to move one of those smokers from the front of my house in my garage where I keep my smokers all the way back here. So obviously I'm sitting on a concrete patio, but to get here I've got to move the smoker from the front of the house through my grass and back here to the backyard. Looking at their smokers, they have the little plastic wheels on the back and the casters on the front. That would be a nightmare. I already deal with that with my Kamado here. I'm not dealing with that with any smoker going forward. From now on, when I get a smoker, it's going to have the wheels to get where I want it and when I want it. I just don't have time to deal with casters and really small wheels. Another reason why I didn't go with Camp Chef is I was not able to reach customer support, and that's going to come up in a couple of these other smokers, but I'm just going to address that by saying this. I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, you got to remember we're dealing with an ongoing pandemic, and while that's true, we've been dealing with this since March. So a lot of other companies have found ways to get creative and to, you know, still maintain a level of support to their customers. There's no reason why, at least from a consumer point looking, why they shouldn't be able to, you know, respond. And that was it as to why I didn't pick the Camp Chef. I thought it was a good smoker. Just because of those reasons, I decided not to get it. Next up, and hoping that nobody falls off their chair laughing at this one, but I actually considered the Weber Smokefire EX4, the smaller model. If you are not familiar, Weber released their first pellet smoker earlier this year in February, and it was disastrous. Just look up YouTube videos on it. It was terrible. I actually pre-ordered the smoker, and once it came out and I saw some folks who, you know, got theirs and all of the problems that they were having, I canceled my pre-order. So in addition to that, the Smokefire has double wall insulation, but only on the ends, on the caps here. It's not within the body of the smoker. In addition to that, the Weber Smokefire, I've seen one particular person that I watch on YouTube had his, he bought it when it first came out. He kept it till around May, and by then it became so, in his words, unusable. He sent it back. About a month later, he bought another one, and since then he's done the updates. He said he hasn't had a problem with it since. And so while that's the case, the problem that I still have, and that I've observed other people having, is the fact that Weber is sending this smoker with the old auger, which was part of the problem, and without the updated pellet feed ramp. Now, they released these, or they manufactured these as a band-aid to the problem that they're having with the Smokefire, but rather than sending it to people who have this smoker and are having this issue, some of the customers are just having, you know, varied responses as to actually getting the auger and the pellet ramp. Some folks called Weber and asked for it, and Weber sent it out. Other folks called and asked for it, and Weber told them, hey, you know, you're going to have to wait until your smoker is actually having a problem before we send it out to you. If you're not having any problems, there's no need for us to send it to you. Again, when you have people spending the kind of money that Weber is charging for their grills, and you release it and it's a disaster, and you come out with the parts to fix it, there shouldn't be a question as to whether or not you get the product to the customer. I mean, like I said, they spent their hard-earned money for it. Again, it would be questionable as to whether or not I'd be able to move the smokefire from the front of my house to the back, because it's got 4 casters, and we've already covered casters. In addition to that, I did try to call Weber and was unable to reach their customer support, so I moved on. The third smoker that I considered, the Rectech 700, they refer to this as the Bull. This, as far as I know, does not feature double wall insulation. I think it was a good smoker, however, it comes with casters again. Now, you can get a competition cart that has wheels on it, however, that's an additional cost. This particular smoker came, as you see it here, with this cart. So when I added up the cost of adding Rectech's cart to their smoker, it was about $150 more than what I paid for this. So that was that. And then I would have to purchase the cart again, going back to the issue of moving this through the grass. One of the things that I did, I asked, I'm a member of several Facebook barbecue groups, and I actually asked people on various pages, on the Rectech page, on the Grilla Grills, on the Camp Chef, on Weber. I asked their opinions on these smokers in comparison to one another. And there were some people on the Rectech page that had experience with both the Grilla Grills and Rectech smokers. And by their own admission, they felt that the Silverbac was a better buy. Some even said that Rectech has a practice of censoring comments. If you happen to come on the Facebook page and say, post about a negative experience that you had with your smoker, Rectech is known to come on and censor that. Not trying to be a part of that in light of everything else that's going on in the world. The last thing I want to deal with is being censored talking about barbecue. Honestly, at that point, I didn't have any interest in talking to the customer service. I was just ready to move on. The last company that I considered before going with Grilla Grills was Pit Boss Danson's Louisiana Grills. They're all under Danson's. The only reason I considered them is because I have their Kamado sitting back here. But as many of you may know, some of you may not know, I was an ambassador for Pit Boss for about a year. And this is not to speak ill of the company at all. This is just my experience. Pit Boss moved to focusing exclusively on their pellet smokers. Now, if you look on their website, they have in excess of 20 of them. So it's kind of like every couple months they're releasing new pellet smokers. And to me, there was some things that pointed to that being a problem, because I felt like with this Kamado here, there was no support for it. There's no interest in providing any updates to it to make it even more functional, similar to how Grilla Grills does with this Silverbac, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what I mean is, this Kamado has been out for a few years. Kamado Joe's Kamado has been out for several years, but each year they do some upgrades. One year they did some like putting a rain cap cover on it to keep the rain from going down in it. I contacted Pit Boss as an ambassador, and I asked them, was there any interest in providing any updates or making the Kamados a little bit more featured as it relates to being an ambassador. The response that I got was that Kamados were not a priority for this company, not now and not for the foreseeable future going forward, and that I could always purchase a pellet smoker. Well, if that's your response, I have no interest in purchasing your product. That plus the fact that, like I said, they've got in excess of 20 pellet smokers if you look on their website. To me, if you're not willing to spend a couple of dollars research and development to improve this Kamado, and you're every other month cranking out a pellet smoker, how much time and support are you really going to put behind that? What happens if I buy your smoker and 2 years down the road there's an issue with it? Are you going to support it? If this is a warranted item, are you going to support it? Are you going to be, regardless if it's warranted, are you going to be in the business of maybe once every blue moon providing some type of update to this grill to make it even more usable. With that being the case, I chose not to go with them, and I went with Grilla grills. So the reasons why I went with the Grilla Grill Silverback, first of all, was customer service. I called Grilla Grills up and I basically asked them why should I buy their smoker over another one. Rather than badmouth any other company and talk about what these other companies didn't do, what the gentleman I spoke with did was simply sell me on what Grilla Grills is doing. And the benefits of this smoker with the double wall insulation. I talked about updates. This particular model smoker is about 3 years old, I believe. Since then, they've constantly made improvements, made different accessories to go with the smoker. So now 3 years running, this is the newest thing. Well, this is one of the newest things, this cart. It originally came in like a cabinet, had like a cabinet style base. They've also released a table for this cart, a caddy over here for your sauces and things like that. They're constantly releasing things to make the smoker versatile and make more people interested in it. Of course, the double wall insulation was another reason why I wanted to purchase this grill. I do smoke in the wintertime, just not that often, but I do. And when I do, I don't want to be out here all day. Another thing, this cart, like I said it before in relation to some other smokers, this came with the cart and this came with 8-inch foam filled tires that are, foam filled, they're not going to go flat, so I don't have to worry about that. And it's not hard at all to wheel around this house from the front and the back. I asked a lot of people on the Grilla Grills page about it, what their experience was, and I got a lot of good feedback on it. Even folks on the Grilla Grills page who did not have this particular smoker, they talked very well about the company and about the product that they had. So all of that went together to kind of help sell me on it. And then also a video that Mark Graham and Shane Draper did, I want to say it's 2 years ago. It's a video they did. And in that video, they talked about the fact that Grilla Grills is not interested in they're not interested in putting out a smoker today, and they're rushing to hurry up and get the next best thing. That can be disastrous. They talked about what they want is to put out a quality product and make it so that the users, the customers who buy it, can enjoy it. And then they're interested in continuing to innovate and produce things like the shells, like the cart and all that, to make it an even more interesting product. So all of those were the reasons why I wanted to get this smoker. Also, I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi connectivity. If I want to do something with Wi-Fi, I've got a ThermalWorks smoke. I can just stick that, and I actually used it before. It sticks to the smoker like a charm. And also, just look at this thing, man. This is sweet, it's nice looking. And another thing that I really like, this has 2 modes of smoking. So a lot of people say you really can't get much of a smoke flavor with pellet smokers. And like I said, this one has 2 modes. In mode 1, you get your regular, I guess, light flavor. I'm guessing because I don't ever use mode 1. It's your regular, whatever flavor you get from a pellet smoker. And then there's mode 2, which is what I use. What happens, so right now I've got wings in here and I've got the temperature set at 350. So right now it's at 355. So what it does is it goes a couple degrees higher and it cooks at that, it cooks like that for a few minutes, and then it drops several degrees lower than what you have it set. Man, I can't talk today. It drops several degrees lower than your set point, and the purpose of that is to get the pellets to smolder and produce more smoke. Now, like I said, I used that mode. You can see right now it dropped to exactly 350. Using that mode, I do get a stronger smoke flavor. It's nowhere near, don't get me wrong, it's not as close to the charcoal or a wood-fired grill, you're not going to have that type of smoke flavor, but you will be able to taste that, oh man, some smoke was imparted to this meat. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. If you guys have any questions, any comments or anything, feel free to drop that down in the comment section below. And while you're at it, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you're notified anytime I release a new video. And on your way out, I'm going to show you real quick these lemon pepper garlic wings that I've got on here. I'm about to hit them with some of this Carolina sweet mustard sauce that I have. Then I got another batch of wings coming, but stand by. All right, so this is what we got. These are lemon pepper garlic wings. Like I said, I'm going to hit them with a little bit of sauce.